Managing the glass.
Okay. Yeah, watch it out. Okay, folks. Hi there, everybody. Welcome. I'm Ian, Rachel's dad. I'd like to welcome you all here today for Phil and Rachel's wedding. Been a lovely day up till now, no rain. It's a bit cold though. It's been a long time coming, 18 months, 2 years, but we've got here. No COVID, I think. Everybody's alright. Of course, lots of people have travelled far and wide to be here today. Some have travelled even up from south of Hadrian's Wall. So I hope you're all enjoying our fresh, crisp air here and our lovely warm weather. Hope you've packed your thermals because you may still need them. It's been a very proud, happy day for me today to see Rachel and Phil finally get their day. And I'm sure it's just the first of many happy days to come. Now, Rachel's always been excellent and good at whatever she's put her hand to. Even as a youngster playing football, she had the Binny traits, very hard tackler, always won the ball fairly, or so she says. From school, she got all the qualifications she needed to get to uni, and from there she went into nursing. And from that, motherhood. And doing a very good job at it. She's always been a great help to me, especially in times of need. Like when she came over to Cyprus to get me out of hospital and see to my recovery for the first couple of weeks, which if she hadn't come, I'd have probably done a couple more months in hospital. And I'll always thank you for that. Thanks. She's looking extremely beautiful today and makes me very proud. Now, to Phil. Known Phil for quite a while now, and it's been a pleasure having him join our family, join the clan as we say. We'll make him an honorary Scotsman, I think, even if he wants to or not. Well, he ain't a kilt yet. Now, I said it was going to be short and sweet. To finish things off, I'd just like to say a small toast. Here's to the past and all you've learned. Here's to the present and all that you share. And here's to the future, to all you've got to look forward to. Please be upstanding. for the toast. To Rachel and Phil, the future Mr. and Mrs. Holland, Slanjadar. Cheers. Thank you.
Right. Right, I think it's my turn now. Let's have a look here. Ready? I'll just be brief here and hand over to the interesting people, these two, as quickly as possible. I'd like to begin with a few well-deserved thank yous. Thank you to the bridesmaids who all look so wonderful. Thank you to my best men and my groomsmen who don't look as wonderful but still look good for you. Thank you to my mum and dad and brother for all their love and support. Despite being so far away, you're always on hand whenever any of us need you, and I love you very much. Thank you to Val and Les and Ian for welcoming me into their family and seemingly being able to teleport to us instantly whenever there's any sort of slight or major catastrophe in our house. I'd like to pay tribute to my granddads who are no longer with us, Grandad Frederick, who my son takes his name from, and Grandad Alan, who passed me down some of the jewellery I wear today. I'd also like to thank Rachel's granddad, Raymond, who's missed dearly, and I'm sure is watching over his granddaughter very proudly, and who helped make today our dreams come true today with his love and generosity. I think both Rachel and I feel very lucky to have the greatest sets of parents in the world, and our children are very, very lucky to have the greatest grandparents in the world, even if they sometimes say you're really boring.
Grandchildren.
Just everyone. I know. I'm sure most of all, everyone just wants us to have the best day ever, and so let's continue. I hope you'll oblige me in sipping, clapping and whooping where necessary throughout this brief speech. There'll be several toasts, so please take this time to refill your glasses. Well, we did it. We got married. Finally. Took a while. I remember several years ago, at the start of this getting married adventure, I thought I should do the traditional thing and ask for permission to propose to Rachel. I received what I took to be the positive reply of, "Nay, up to me." Nay, up to me. It's Scottish. Thanks for you. And I felt I had therefore obtained the necessary permission, and so I thought to myself, I'll bank that. That's that bit of the admin done. 2 years later, we're engaged to be in the beautiful Italian gardens of Hyde Park in London. And now, what seems like all of a sudden, but is actually a long time later, we're here, in this lovely venue, surrounded by our nearest and dearest loved ones. And so, I'd like to raise a toast to you all. Thank you all very much for agreeing to join us on this special day. Thank you. It certainly took a long time to get to this point of our wedding day. You would think by now, after 6 or 7 years, I would have had plenty of time to practice my speech and therefore sound less robotic. But I'm beginning to think that's just the way I talk. To return to the start of our wedding story, our engagement happened shortly before we had moved up here to Scotland, and so we felt we should delay the planning of the wedding by about a year until we had actually relocated to the country it was going to be in. I can remember way back I was pondering if we should have an open bar and free drinks for the guests at our wedding. Well, I raised this point to Rachel and mentioned it had always been a nice touch at weddings I'd been to in the past to have an open bar. She replied, "Ach." No. You's getting married in Scotland. The guests while drunk your bunk a coont. Delay. Ken. Her accent was still adjusting to the move at this point. It was a bit funny. Where do we go to? Right, one second. So I said, should we have an open bar? She said, no, it's Scotland, they'll drink your bank account dry. Her words, not mine. And I thought to myself, these sound like the sort of people I could get on with. I think we'll have a lot in common. And I've felt very welcome ever since. So a toast to Scotland and the friends and family helping us resettle. Upon the three of us moving to Scotland, that's Rachel, me, and our beautiful daughter Isabella. Izzy? Hello. Hi. Do you want to come up or no? No. Okay. We were initially based at Rachel's mum's house, so the planning for the big day had to wait further until we could afford a permanent home. After about another year, we eventually moved into a lovely house of our own and could begin planning for the big day, when suddenly plans had to be put off again, but it was due to the brilliant news that we were now expecting another new member of the soon-to-be Holland family, Freddie. Hi, Freddie.
Okay.
Anyway, it's nearly there. After about another year or so, we resumed planning. Everything was going perfectly, and I remember, with about 1 year to go to the original date we had set, by this point we'd had the kids, got the house, saved some pennies up, and it was about November or December time of 2019. Rachel and I were saying to each other, we're not going to let anything stop us now. This is it. No more delays. Then, all of a sudden, boom, global pandemic. Weddings made illegal. Everyone stays in and watches Joe Wicks for a year. But now we're here. And so, I'd like to raise a toast to you all. Thank you all very much for agreeing to join us on this special day and also the previously scheduled special days. Last but not least, I'd like to say something about my beautiful wife, Rachel. It's all in here. My wife has had a truly amazing and impressive last year or so, planning to make this day so wonderful, on top of obtaining several promotions at work, passing her driving licence on the first go, and becoming a health and fitness fiend, while also at the same time as raising 2 children and a husband. Whenever I feel I couldn't be any more fortunate, she always does something even more amazing to make me feel even more lucky to have ever have met her in that dingy CM20s bar in Harlow, Essex, all those years ago. She's truly made everybody very proud, and most of all, me. And so, I'd like to raise a toast to my beautiful bride,
Rachel.
Mrs. Rachel Holland. That's it. Thank you.
Well done. That's a nice speech.
Hello everyone, hope you're all having a lovely time. For those of you that don't know me, why am I checking for my name? My name's Pete and I'm one of Phil's oldest friends, and I've got the honour of being one of his best men as well. Don't worry, as there's two of us, I'm going to try and keep this brief. Phil and I have sort of known each other our entire lives, but we really bonded when we were around 8 years old, hanging around after hours in the school both mums worked at. In particular, we bonded over the computer in my mum's classroom, and from there our friendship grew, mainly around computers and computer games. We really were that cool when we were young. But we did have some real life adventures as well. Now, the one that really stands out for me is the holiday we went on in the year 2000. And Phil's mum knows exactly what story I'm about to tell. I was 15, Phil was still a 14-year-old little whippersnapper. So we were on holiday with our parents on the Greek island of Kos in August. Now, one particular day, we were all out on a Jeep. Sorry. That our parents had hired. We'd gone to a beach that everyone wanted to visit. We're getting our stuff ready out the back of the Jeep, and Phil stood on the back of the Jeep, taking in the sights that a teenage boy will be taking in Kos, in the middle of August, if you get my meaning. Yes. If you don't, you will in a minute. So for some reason that day I'd not worn swimming trunks, but I made a comment along the lines of, I think I might go swimming anyway. To which Phil replies, while still taking in the sights, you can't go swimming, you've not got any breasts. To which Phil's mum instantly replies, what were you looking at?
Nothing like that.
Even though that was 20 years ago, that still remains one of the highlights of my friendships with Phil. Now, before I carry on, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone involved in Phil and Rachel's big day. In particular, Phil's groomsman. Sorry. Oh. It is, yeah. And Rachel's bridesmaids, who I think we'd all agree look lovely today. Surpassed only by the bride herself, who looks absolutely stunning. How Phil ever managed to speak to Rachel in the first place, let alone charm her enough to live with him, have kids with him, and marry him, is a mystery to those that know him well. And I have been told on the night they met, once Phil had persuaded Rachel to give him her phone number, he went straight outside and phoned it to check that it was real.
Too good to be true.
Now, it's tradition for the best man to offer some advice to the newlyweds, so I thought that'd be a good way to end my speech. And I racked my brains for a while about what wisdom I could impart on them. But then I thought, actually, when you've spent some time with them as a couple, when you look at them together, deep down, you know, Phil knows his place. Honestly, though, I think it's lucky that Phil has married a nurse, because we know that she already has a lot of patience. I was hoping for a groan on that one. In all seriousness, though, I think we can agree they're a wonderful couple, so can I please ask you to toast to the bride and groom?
Bride and groom.
And now I'll hand over to the second best man.
Yep, it's coming on. Action. Hello, hope you're well. It's great to be here, lovely place, celebrating with Philip and Rachel, tied a knot, literally today. As you can see, Philip has chosen two best men, which shows he's not at all indecisive. So the good news is there's going to be twice as much love for Rachel and twice as much grief for Philip. I'm going to tell you the classic tale of an ambitious, assertive Essex boy meets a mellow, laid-back Scottish lass. Hang on a minute. Might have this slightly the wrong way round. What I meant to say was a tale of the ambitious, beautiful Scottish lass meets the chilled out, relaxed, distant, often running late, never quite there, mellow Essex boy that is my brother Philip Holland. It's fair to say Philip's had these relaxed traits since his young age. He wasn't really bothered with the normal things kids do, like learning to walk or crawl or stuff like that. But then one day, about the age of 4, Philip stood up, discovered his true purpose in life, took his first steps, went over to television and plugged the PlayStation in. And for the next 10 to 30 years, Philip dedicated his life to learning that machine. He learned every level, all the cheats, mastered Sonic the Hedgehog, completing it 45 times a week. And now, as an adult, it's lovely to see him passing on his skills and knowledge to his children. And Freddie has literally nearly beat Dr. Robotnik already. Philip does like proving people wrong. My mum said to him when he was younger, instead of borrowing everything, you could have all your own stuff, all your own possessions. You just need to get a job. And Philip set about proving her wrong. He looked at the job ads, he spoke to loads of recruitment consultants and worked out he didn't need a job. He was quite happily borrowing my dad's clothes, my shoes and my mum's deodorant. Yes, Nivea Wild Rose tonight, I think. Yeah. He's also got other traits. He's very good at impersonations. I haven't introduced myself, but I'm sure you've worked out I'm Philip's brother. Some people say we look the same, some people say we sound the same, some people say we have the same traits. And I shouldn't have been surprised here that Philip will often come up to me after a night out and say, "Christian, I was talking to one of your friends last night." Well, I think it was one of your friends. He knew me very well, but I didn't know him. We spoke for about half an hour. I didn't want to tell him I wasn't you. And as you can picture the scene, it's a very drunk club and there's a very confused Philip, standard. And there's a very confused one of my friends thinking Chris must be wasted, standard. And he literally doesn't remember anything I said. We've kind of heard earlier how Philip and Rachel met, but there's probably a bit of a different story to that. It was in CM20s, and Philip described a lovely, sophisticated Harlow nightclub. Swan play, yeah. And Philip did put all the effort in here. He actually went up to Rachel, made the first move. He used the classic line, "Do you have a cigarette?" Which Rachel responded by giving him a cigarette, which is quite good. And Philip thought, well, I need another killer line. And he said, "Do you have lighter?" And it seems to have worked. The conversations flowed. "Do you want me to smoke it for you?" "I'm a nurse." "That's great. I've got reds."
Serious condition.
Yeah. Some quick things you probably need to know about Philip and Rachel. Stuff they've left behind. Suitcases on a train. Yeah, on the way to Peterborough, or got off at St Neots, suitcase in Peterborough. Passports they discovered after an hour's drive to Luton Airport. And my favourite one of their cats, after they had moved to Bromley. 2 days later they returned to collect the cat. She just wouldn't come, no. Did the cats come in? Don't know. Soon, maybe. Oh, we got the boxes. Philip's organisation skills in weddings. He texted me 2 weeks ago saying, can you get one of these suits?" When all the suits were sold out in my size. 1 week ago, "Can you get me one of these ties?" When all the ties were sold out. And "Can you get me a white shirt? I think I might need one Sunday." And me and Pete were very relieved this morning when he said, "Is there anything else you need?" And he didn't respond with, "Can you get rings?" So you'd probably expect me to tell you now about the stag do. However, in true Holland fashion and COVID, we're going to do it next year. Bit late. Yeah. Philip did say this is the safest time to tell Rachel that we're going on a weeks-long trip to Spain.
I thought it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it could be. Right. See how the reaction.
We'd get to go as well, to be fair, so
Yeah.
stick for talk.
that was quite gentle. That's quite. But you'll just have to imagine that we got him really drunk, stripped him naked, tied him to a lamppost Union Square. Police come along, pepper sprayed him, he cried, and all the usual stuff in stag do's. But in all seriousness, I do really love Philip, and I am really proud of him today. And I'm honoured to officially welcome Rachel into our family. As Philip said, the world has been through a lot, and I can only imagine how hard it would be to try and arrange a wedding through COVID and everything like that. And I think, Rachel, you've worked really hard. It's been a massive achievement and a really successful day. Well done. And plus, she does look absolutely amazing. So I think a round of applause for Rachel. 3 other quick toast round of applause to firstly to Val, Les and Ian, please. To my mum and dad, Jill and Richard Holland. And of course to the brilliant Freddie and Isabella. They don't like the applause, do they? The last thing I'll say is I don't think Philip is lazy or as dense as tried to make out. He works really hard. He does 8 till 6, gets on a bus, works, comes home, immediately tends to the children, bathing, teaching, playing, PlayStation. But actually works really hard. And Philip and Rachel probably finally get to sit down about 10 p.m. One of their greatest strengths, I think, as a couple is their support and love for their wonderful children, which is really, beautiful. My final toast is to wish Philip, Rachel, Isabella and Freddie a lifetime of happiness together, and to make this one of the days they truly look back on as one of the best days of their life and the start of many great things to come. So please be upstanding. Last time. And a final toast to the brilliant, wonderful Mr. and Mrs. Holland.